Thanks to those joining me live and to those that'll be joining me, Chief Funky and Dave from Living in the Ring on Archive. Man, oh man, do we got a great show for you. If you're listening on Archive right now, make sure you throw a jab at the like button. Make sure that like button does turn blue. Please go ahead and do that for us. I mean, boxing is back. Yeah, I don't know if I'm that excited about it, but I'm going to sound like I am. All right, Shakur Stevenson, gets a 6-round knockout and, two body shots that he landed there. What should he do next? Should he move up, fight Burchell, fight Kid Gallahan, who challenged him to a fight? We will talk about that. Robeisy Ramirez, a 2-time gold medalist. What should Top Rank do next with him? And what's up with Adan Gonzales? He has completely disappeared after his victory over Robeisy Ramirez. What's going on with that? All right. He's the one that wanted to fight. So we will definitely talk about that. Gvozdyk did announce his retirement, at least through his manager. And this is through the Washington Post is my source for this. Did announce. Do we believe it? I don't know. Ryan Garcia or Vergil Ortiz, who has a better future out of those two fighters? And what's up with Ryan Garcia beefing with his own? And of course, fights we wish we got to see. We'll talk about that at the end of the show. What's going on, gentlemen? What's going on, G Funky?
Hey, what's going on, man? Glad that boxing is finally back. We finally get a chance to talk about some live fights that just happened. We got fights coming up tomorrow. So, hey, man, pretty cool. Even though the fights, I mean, we'll get into that, but I'm glad it's back though.
Boxing's back. Dave, are you excited about boxing being back?
I'm in my bunker right now, so I don't know if I'm that excited since I'm a Top Rank fan. I'm not a Top Rank fanboy. I'm a Top Rank hater, seems. So yeah, I'm over here afraid of the Top Rank fanboys. So I'm sitting in my bunker here.
Okay.
Give me a minute. I might want to come up for air.
We sense the fear in your voice.
You better sense it.
There's angry protesters outside of Dave's house right now.
Well, I want to make sure everyone understands that if you didn't love this card, you're a hater of Top Rank.
I'm a hater. I'm a hater from a vato named Alexis.
Right, there you go.
Alexis is this guy is my number one fan. He's been following me for quite some time, telling me that I need to say more positive things about Bob Arum. Why do you say so many bad things about Bob Arum?
Yeah, why do you say so many bad things about Bob Arum?
I didn't even know I said bad things about Bob. I thought me and Bob go way back.
There's a lot of bad things to say about Arum. But with that said, shout out to Chicano Prophet and John in the chat. 8-Rod, saludos to you too. And DJ Mexicano de Tejas has been waiting for 30 minutes for us to come on. Right? Yeah. That's dedication right there. But that's what it's all about. All right, let's talk about this, man. Give me your general thoughts, Chief Funky. Boxing's back, bro. Are you pumped or what? Are you ready? What's going on?
Well,
shadow boxing in your living room.
Hey, yeah, yesterday at about 3:45, I was throwing uppercuts and everything, man. I was ready to go, and then the car started, and
in the pool, he was shadow boxing in the pool.
I was like Ali, you know that picture of Ali when he's in there, underneath the water.
I don't know why, but I don't want that image in my head. Sorry.
Yeah, man, I was pumped up, and I was outside chilling, watching the fights, and next thing you know, there's about a good 20 minutes of just chit chat. They're explaining to us about how they're dealing with the whole pandemic, and it's like, dude, like, really, we've been through this already. We know everything that goes on to put on an event. Okay, we don't need you to tell us, but they decided they want to tell us for 20 minutes how they dealt with all this stuff. Then, the fights come on, and let me just say that, although as a hardcore fan, I was very excited, and I'm very happy that, we have some live fights that are back, and then we have some fights to talk about that just took place, and we got fights tomorrow coming up. But the card went as I expected. I mean, a lot of showcase fights, so they went as planned. No major upsets. Nothing really exciting happened. Although I was impressed with one guy who I seen, and I think we'll get into that a little bit later. But overall, it was as expected. Bunch of showcase fights from Top Rank.
Tell us who you were impressed by.
The one guy that I was impressed by was, believe it or not, was the shortest fight of the night, which was Robeisy Ramirez. And I think that from what I seen from his first fight to this fight, I did see some changes. He didn't look as nervous as he did the first time in his first pro debut when he got beat by the Journeyman. So I do like what I seen. He was sitting down on his punches. He came out to make a statement. And that's exactly what he did. He was throwing, he came out right away throwing just powerful left uppercuts and then shooting straight lefts to the body on this dude. I love straight shots to the body, man. I think those are great punches to throw because they not only do they hurt if they land, but they set a lot of things up, and it showed right away. The dude was already worried about getting hit in the body. Next thing you know, he gets clipped with a straight left hand right on the chin. Goes down, never recovers. He gets up, gets blazed again, goes down, and the fight is over. To me, that was the most impressive performance of the night. I really like what I saw from him, especially being, from the Cuban school of boxing. We know these guys get a bad rap of just being, amateurs trying to become pros, and they just move around the ring and just try to score points like they would in the amateurs. But this guy came. And he came to get rid of this dude, and that's exactly what he did, man. So that's what I was most impressed with, man, on the night.
Well, look, he beat. I'm gonna try my best. If I butcher it, I'm sorry. Yeuri Andujar. Is that how you pronounce that name? I have no idea, but that's who he beat. Dave, what was your overall feeling about the night, man? Talk to us about the great transitions between fights and all that great stuff that they put on display yesterday.
God, I mean, look, here I go again, bashing Top Rank. I'm not bashing Top Rank. Like I said before, look, you're going to have some folks that are going to cry and say, we shouldn't speak up, that whatever these promoters do, that we should be content. I mean, they could have made better matches. I mean, I don't see why. Even with a small budget, you could have got guys that are C level, D level, and matched them up correctly. We could have got some real leather being thrown at each other, but instead we got mismatches. I don't know why some folks that are okay with this. I mean, your hard-earned money. I mean, if you're going to give away your goddamn hard-earned money, guys, go to my Patreon. Just dump your money in there. I'll be happy to spend it for you guys. I mean, I know that G-Funks needs more green paint for his grass. My landscaper, I got to pay him. It's his payment is due this month. D-Style needs a new headset. Just ripped it.
Yeah, that's right.
So, I mean, I just don't get the whole be happy. And I think that guy, Alexis, pinche mamon, that cries all the time and goes to my iTunes and comments and, changes his name and thumbs it down and complains about me about that I don't say nothing positive, which is it's so total bullshit. I praise what's supposed to be praised and I call out what I see that's not supposed to be praised. Why am I mean, there's a lot of fight fans that have either tweeted at me or have already written into the show that agree that this was a garbage shit show. It was. We waited for 3 months, and this is what we got. That's it. Come on, I don't know. Maybe I'm just a bitter old man now.
Absolutely. Big Dog Willie, I appreciate the support. He says, sorry to change this. For $10, you can change the subject anytime you want. But sorry to change the subject, but NASCAR has banned the Confederate flag at their races. There are grown white men crying. One man said, this is the beginning of the apocalypse and the 4 horsemen are coming. Wow, man.
Wow, man.
Because they banned which, by the way, that's not even the actual Confederate flag. It's a battle flag that it didn't become really big until like the 60s during the civil rights era. I wonder why. But thank you for letting me know on that little news. Thank you for the news there, Big Dog Willie. and I appreciate the support.
I saw that. And I actually was cracking up when I saw that happen because there are a lot of folks that I know that are having this meltdown. They're having this concern. They feel like their supposed culture is being pulled and taken away from them. And I was like, really? Gee, join the club.
Well, man, that's something they'll have to deal with. I mean, we don't have like a Confederate flag problem in boxing, so I think we're good. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think we're fine. But I think I appreciate NASCAR seeing a problem and putting a foot down about it. Whereas the NFL owners cowered up when the president started, double down on the fact that NFL players were protesting in a peaceful manner. I had a friend of mine just tell me the other day about Kaepernick say like, I didn't like the way he did it. And I said, you're right. You should have rioted. You should have started burning shit down, right? And he just got completely silent about it.
Well, that's there you go, guys. Thank you again for that support there, Big Dog Willie, man. If I go to the movies, like I know people are like, hey, but these are showcase fights. Take it for what it is, D-Style. Okay, fine. But if I don't give us showcase after showcase after showcase after showcase, you got to give us one competitive fight. And if the budget is small, you can get like 2 C-level dudes, have them scrap it out. They're going to give us a good fight. You know what I mean? It's the way I see it. And I refuse to believe that Adan Gonzales guy would have been any more expensive than the dude that Robeisy Ramirez just fought. He has a win over him. We're going to talk about him a little later, but I wasn't a fan of the weight. Dude, I would go take a piss, come back. They were still cleaning the ring, right? If they kept patting themselves in the back, I think they were going to break their spine, bro. Okay, we get it. You're taking all the precautions in the world. We get it. There's a dude cleaning. Did you see that obvious that obvious billboard, man? They had that dude cleaning the ring, and on the back of the T-shirt, it had the name of the business and stuff.
Yeah,
like that was like, come on, dude, you're making it obvious. This was part of the deal. Like, we won't pay you as much, but we'll give you free marketing. Okay, like chill. Okay, chill with that just a little bit, But I was not a fan of the fights. I'm not a fan of hunting deers in cages. I'm just not a fan of that. I was extremely disappointed with the way they managed this card. I'm very disappointed with the way it all went down, man. If anything, why not do 2 different locations, right? Have a ring in 2 locations. That way, when there's a fight going on in one location, they're cleaning the ring in the other location. If that's what we're going to do, Plus, didn't they get tested? I mean,
yeah, they did.
Yeah, like I would think they don't have it. So what? Like, I don't know. The whole thing was loony, bro. I mean, it was like 3 or 4 hours, man. The block.
Yeah, and what's crazy too is that they actually did have a ring. They said they had a ring in the room that was right next door to that room where they showed what's his name, Adam Lopez. I think he's going to fight on tomorrow night's card. He's in there, warming up and moving around in the ring. So I mean, yeah, that's a good idea. They could have utilized that,
Yeah. There's no crowd. It's not like the crowd's waiting for the fight. You could do it in 2 different locations, bro. Like, I just have 2 rings or something. Like, figure it out. They cannot continue to do this. I'm sorry. I don't want to hear these guys talk for an hour, about shit I already talk about. It's just
Exactly.
crazy. Jared Anderson got a knockout victory, against the Langston guy. Were you guys impressed by that heavyweight?
I mean, what we saw of him, yeah. I mean, I thought he put his punches together pretty good. We got to see a bit more. I thought that the matchmaking for him was done correctly. Would have liked to seen a little bit more of that type of style of fighting that night. I'm not opposed to seeing C club fighters or D-class fighters get in as long as they're matched against each other. Whereas you see an A-side guy immediately going to fight a C-class D-class guy, and you already know the outcome. That to me just doesn't show me any interest. I just don't care for that. But yeah, the heavyweight big baby, I thought it was a good little scrap. I wasn't overly like too impressed, and that's just because I'm more of a guy that likes to sit back and wait and kind of see more of that person before I make a real determination whether or not he's going to be a real threat to any division.
Gotcha. All right. Were you impressed, you Funky?
I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't say impressed, but I did like what I saw from him. What I really noticed right away was that he was throwing a lot of combinations, which is, you know, something you don't really see too often from heavyweights. Now I know he's a young kid; he's only 20, you know, so he's full of energy, you know. So but you know, I did like the way that he was throwing his left hook. I mean, anytime I see guys doubling up with left hooks to the body and then bringing that thing up top to the head, I really like that, man. And very reminiscent of Tommy Morrison, the way he used to throw his left hooks, man. I do think that was probably the best matchup on the card. Like Dave said, I agree with that. And you know, I think that was only his 4th fight. So you know, what I saw, I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's kind of hard to say, you know, but I did like those left hooks that he was throwing. Those were really, really nice.
I think the answer is yes. I think you were impressed.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah,
Sure.
I guess, yeah.
All right, man. Shakur Stevenson. Well, he wins by knockout. All right. You know, it's look, Felix Caraballo. No one really thought he had a shot to win, but I guess I was hoping he'd give him a good fight so we could get some type of, you know, adversity that Shakur Stevenson has to overcome. But didn't happen. Right? He got those 2 great body shots on him and dropped him. Dave, what did you make of the fight, man, with Shakur Stevenson?
I think Shakur is a talent to keep an eye on. I'm not on the train yet. I said this on my Twitter. I said this on my Twitter handle that I'm not on that train. I still think that he had a guy in front of him that wasn't even returning shots, was walking forward. It was to me, it was like a high level sparring session. You're going to a gym to see a guy prepare for an upcoming fight. That's what I kind of witnessed in this headline. But then again, that's what I kind of expected. I wasn't expecting Shakur to go out there and blow this guy out of the water, and I wasn't expecting the other guy to really put up a fight. What I'm waiting for is somebody that's gonna fight with Shakur, is gonna punch with him. And when somebody punches with the marquee name, that's when we really things start to unfold. We end up finding out how that person really is as a fighter. You know, does he adjust? Is he a quick thinker? Does he become more aggressive? Does he back up? Does he, back up to kind of assess what's going on? Those are the things that I look for. With this fight here with Shakur, I didn't see any of that because what I saw was a guy that was there to be a human punching bag. So I wasn't impressed, but I was impressed just in the mere fact that Shakur is a talent. But I'm just not. It's not saying, would you buy stock on this fighter? No, I wouldn't. Not with him yet.
Well, G Funky, what you make of that performance with Shakur?
I thought it was a typical performance of the matchup. He went in there and completely outclassed this dude. You could just tell right away with the hand speed, the quick reflexes of Stevenson, the clean, effective punching, the hitting and not getting hit. You could just tell right away that the opponent was like, okay, this is gonna be a long night for me, which it was. Yeah. I mean, I think it went 6 rounds or something like that. So he went a little bit longer than I thought he was gonna go.
That's actually impressive. I thought he was going to go all 10 rounds, to tell you the truth.
Oh, yeah. I didn't think he was going to. I thought for sure Stevenson was going to knock him out at least within 4 or 5 rounds, I'd say. But I do like what I see, but I do agree with what you just said, Ruff. There's something, I don't know what it is, man, but I do think that I do need to see him in there with somebody that's going to go in there and not be afraid, not be overwhelmed by everything. And then I would be able to say, okay, you know what? I can jump on the train, like you said, the choo-choo, you know?
Right.
So,
Here's the thing with Top Rank. Top Rank has always been really good of developing their fighters and marketing them the correct way to be a headliner and a force to be reckoned in the business, right? Golden Boy finally are kind of catching up. PBC are still trying to figure that out. They still haven't developed a fighter, completely. That wasn't already developed, right? With Shakur, my worries about him is that, yeah, he is talented, but there's a lot of questions circling around him right now to be a headliner, because I mean, the body shots were nice, but in between those rounds, he was landing some hellacious shots, and it didn't really seem like they were doing much damage. And then, did you guys get the sense of the narrative between, with Timothy Bradley, that the hands, even before that, they keep talking about his hands. So I almost felt like they were preparing us to go for 10 rounds because there was a major concern about hands. Right. I don't know, man. I've always learned through history when you have a network and you have a promotional company trying to shove down a fighter down your throat, sell them, oversell them, they always seem to never kind of meet that potential. Comes to mind Lucas Matisse, the Machine. I always felt that was forced, that this guy was this murderous killer, and Danny Garcia was not going to be able to do shit with them. And I think I was the very few that were like, Danny Garcia is going to outbox this kid. He's going to beat up this guy. And it happened. I always get that every time I have that gut feeling that this is just being oversold to me. Turns out to be it is.
Here's what I'll say, man. What I'm interested in, because he's expected to win this fight. So, it was a good stoppage. I'll give him that, man. Those two body shots are very well put together, So I got to give him credit for that. But, so maybe I wasn't sure he was going to get a stoppage or not, but he did.
Right.
What I'm waiting for is what now? I'm tired of hearing, he's only 22. We got all the time in the world. Man, he's a champion already. It's time to put him in the ring against the other guys. So,
right.
Josh Warrington's won. Let's say we give him a pass on that because maybe Josh Warrington doesn't want that work. I don't know. I don't like to play the blame game or anything, but Kid Gallahan just called him out. He said, "Hey, let's do it." Let me read the tweet really quick. Congrats to Shakur Stevenson on his win last night. Seeing as Josh Warrington wants nothing to do with either of us, what do you say we give the fight? Okay, the fans a proper matchup of skills, paying the bills. Happy to do it at 126 or at 130. So, Dave, what do you think about that matchup?
I don't think it happens. I mean, I think it's a good matchup, but I don't think it happens. Like I said, Top Rank is very good in developing their fighters. There's no question in how they matchmake them and how they move them is always been a very good way of doing things. They're going to draw out this kid as much as they can until they feel that he's ready. And that's why they're preparing. That's why I said the narrative is there for us. They're preparing us that he's not going to be facing anybody too dangerous just yet. And I think that's what's going to be the impatience of us fans, is that he's a champion, he's headlining. How many of these fluff fights are you going to give us? How many of them are we going to take? Obviously, if you're a guy named Alexis who cries about everything that we criticize what promoters do, you're going to accept it every single time. You don't mind bending over and taking it in the ass. Well, I do. I don't care for that. What he does next, I'll tell you what he does next. He fights another guy that's going to be able to expose the skills that we already have seen and get us to like his speed and maybe show us a little bit more power, inch us into that right direction. But I think to put him in line with somebody potentially dangerous at this moment, I personally don't see why you should. I don't think Shakur Stevenson is ready for that kind of a step up. I would have to agree with Top Rank in them that we need to pump our brakes and allow him to still develop. He is 22. But the downside of that is, like you said, he's got a title and he's doing the headlines now. That's where the impatience is going to come from fans like everybody else, the hardcore fans that want to see good fights, and like myself, who want to see these good fights.
G-Funky, what about, him moving up in weight? And people are talking about him fighting Berchelt. Is that a fight you'll be interested in?
Oh, definitely, because we know that Berchelt's a dog, man, and he's going to come in there. And Shakur is going to have to, he's going to have to come out of his shell a little bit in that fight, I believe, if it happens. But that's a big if. Like Dave said, they're gonna move him along, at the pace that they feel is best. I believe he's only got 14 fights now, but he's got a belt. So we got to hold him to the standard that we hold other guys to, So we'll see, man. But if he moves up to 130 and fights Berchelt, oh, man, that's going to be the first real test for him, man. And it's going to be a rough one for him, I believe. It's not going to be easy. We know that Shakur is more skilled, obviously, as far as, the technical stuff and the footwork and all that. But Berchelt, man, that dude is tough. He comes and he ain't going to lay down, man. Even if he feels like he's outclassed a little bit or he's outspeeded or whatever, he's going to keep coming, man. He's going to have to stop him, I think.
And I don't think that's, look, to say that he's ready to step up based on what? Like, what did you witness last night?
You weren't impressed with the Hoyt performance? I think he did it right there.
I mean, he fought Hoyt. That guy had more bark than a bite. No, I wasn't impressed. I mean, he had his way with them, just like he had his way with this guy last night. I mean, here's the thing. Fernando Vargas was a kid that always overstepped himself and took fights that he shouldn't have taken at the time. It ruined him. We've seen this time and time again, where fighters are put in a bit rush. Devon Alexander, the great, was at 140, was a phenomenal fighter. But everybody was in a rush to see him fight Timothy Bradley. That even Timothy Bradley said himself, this is too soon, too early. This kid's not ready for me. And guess what happened? He was not ready for him. That's why I said I think we need to see a little bit more of him. I'm not opposed to seeing a little bit more of Shakur, finding out a little bit inches of what he could do. Putting him in with like a Barchett, I think that's just too soon. You're going to destroy this kid before he even really meets that potential, in my opinion.
I mean, here's my thing, right? This is a brutal sport. You know what I mean? It's only the hungriest and the strongest survive, the way I see it. So if he wants to be a champion, it's time to step up. Like, it's time. I'm going to demand he fights a Berchelt. I'm going to demand he fights Josh Warrington. I'm going to demand he fights, Kid right. Gallahan. As a boxing fan, that's what I'm going to demand. If he loses and his career is over.
And that's what the strap does. That's what I mean. That getting that strap is going to get you into that line of talk of that you should fight this guy, when in reality, Top Rank is not really thinking that route. Top Rank is in the business of making money. They're not in the business of keeping us fight fans happy. That's not their business. Their business is to make sure that they keep giving you a little bit of this, a little bit of that, something enough to strike your curiosity and to keep you right there at the door, because you're going to keep waiting to see what happens next. I mean, I think that this kid can be good, be the goods. I'm just not on the train yet to say that he's ready to do that next leap, that he's going to be a major threat. I think he's still very young. I don't see that man strength out of him yet. I think that's still in development. And I just say, if they were to make these other fights, Warrington and all these, I think it's just a bad move right now for this kid.
I could say that from Top Rank's perspective, but what about ESPN's perspective? You think they want to keep having these showcase fights, especially with a negative response from the public, though?
I don't think ESPN really cares what the negative response is. I mean, look at their ESPN Plus. The negative response it's been, that's been dropped from numerous boxing fans. I don't. Networks is a completely different beast. I mean, they're not solely dependent on boxing fans, in my opinion. So I don't see why they would care.
Yeah, man. I mean, I kind of get the points, and I get it from a manager side, from a promoter side. But and this may be brutal or whatever, but I'm a firm believer that either you were born to be something big in boxing, or you weren't. And I just want to find out now. No, I think Fernando Vargas,
that's the boxing gooliness. I mean, I'm with you. I would want to see that. I mean, if Shakur Stevenson said, "Yeah, I'm going to fight this guy," and stepped up, where a lot of these guys are just basically mouthpieces now, and took on that fight, dude, I would be like, okay, perfect. But I also would not be a betting man on him because I would be realistic. He may not be ready for these fights yet.
I say he's ready, but I don't think Top Rank cares what I think. What's up to Renee Box Young in the chat? Big Dog Willie in the chat as well. A-Rod 83. He would be like Tank. He was complaining about getting good fights, thinking Floyd was selecting him, setting him up for failure. Now he thinks holding him back. Interesting. Renee Box Young, A-Rod, yeah, it's a complex situation in general dealing with promoters. Chicano Profits on here. Shakur sure talks like he's ready, and I say throw him in there. He thinks he's ready
throw him in with the Lions.
If he thinks he's ready to conquer the Lions, throw him in there. Throw him with the Wolves. Throw him with all of them. Okay. He's ready to slay the Dragons. Let him slay the Dragons. So wait, so you guys are tuning into the June 10th edition of Hispanics Causin Panic. Make sure you press that like button. Make sure it turns blue. Share this video on all your social media platforms, and you can also check out the show on the Leave It in the Ring network. All right, so make sure you guys do that. I say the same. These styles is Renee Box Young, absolutely. Robeisy Ramirez, 2-time gold medalist in London and Rio. 2 times, those vests. All right. G Funky, I know you already said you were impressed with him, from what you saw. But what do you think Top Rank should do next with him? You think they're going the right path so far with him? What are your thoughts on him?
I think so. 4 fights in, he's got all knockouts except for his pro debut in which he lost a decision. But I think they're moving him right along at the right pace. I mean, maybe around the 10 fight mark or so, then we'll see if they want to step up and throw somebody in there that's a little bit more skilled at him. But as of right now, I think they're moving him along at the right pace. I think for a lot of these dudes that come over from Cuba, they, a lot of them have to be rushed because of age and things like that. Or this guy doesn't have to, so they could take their time and do their usual top rank thing with him. And I would like to see a potential rematch with him and Shakur Stevenson possibly if Stevenson remains at 126. I know that Ramirez after his fight said that he's comfortable there at 126. He plans on staying there for a while. So if Shakur can stay there, then they could market that as one of, I guess, if they want to, for both of these guys, they can say, hey, look, this will be your big first fight, a rematch from the Olympics. So we'll see. I mean, I would love to see that, or I would love to see him get back in there and beat that dude that beat him. But like you said, we don't know where he's at now. So, but I do think that they're doing the right thing with him, man. Let's not rush him like they normally do. A lot of these Cuban guys, let him build his career, let him get used to the pro style. These guys fight a lot of fights in the amateurs, a lot of tournaments. So I think they're doing the right thing, man.
You agree with that, Dave? He has to kind of relearn how to box and get out of that amateur mold into the pro mold. And you think they're kind of doing right by him right now?
I think so. I mean, that's exactly when you got a guy that's coming out of the pedigree of amateurs, you got to let him to adjust that. It's no longer solely a point system that you're trying to bank on. You got to learn how to sit on your punches a bit more. You got to invest in these punches. So I think that's the right thing to do is to let him develop. How come you have a picture of Amir Khan though up? Oh, that's not Amir Khan. Looks like a Miracon, but that's not a Miracon.
I hope you don't have the chin of a Miracon.
No, let's hope not. But no, I agree with G-Funk, man. I think, I think G-Funk's on point all right there.
I agree. I like the fact that they're moving him, a little bit slow right now. What's the hurry? You know what I mean? To give it a couple more fights, let him get adjusted. That's probably why he lost his pro debut. So he obviously needs to be moved a little slower. So I'm definitely in agreement with you guys. And in this case, it's okay because he's not a champion. Like, you know what I mean?
And I was going to say, until he gets that title, that's going to be a different story.
So as long as you keep him off the title ranks and all that, no title, no diamond belts, nothing. Okay. All right. No two-time gold medalist only belt or nothing like that. Nothing. Right. Okay, Mauricio. All right. If you're listening, but just let him grow. And before you know it, I mean, I think from what we saw last night, he's definitely ready to step up from that level, which brings me to this. We talked about this last month, right? Adan Gonzales or Adan Gonzales, all right? He's 5-2-2, all right? But he beat him in his debut. He beat this dude, bro. He beat Robeisy Ramirez in his debut match. The two-time gold medalist lost. Huge upset. Right? And all these people interviewing him, and I looked him up, I looked it up. All these articles about his big win, and they have not talked about this dude since. Boxing abandoned this guy. It's like he got punished for having the audacity of beating this dude in his debut match. Like, how dare you? Didn't you get the memo? You were supposed to lose this fight. But no, you have to come and ruin everything. Now he doesn't have an O. Adan. Okay. Adan Gonzales. Get the fuck out of here. I don't know if he's been blackballed, if he disappeared. I can't say what happened because I don't know. But where is this dude? Why is it? Robeisy has fought 3 times.
He's hiding from the cartels. That's where he's at.
Where'd he go? Adan Gonzales, bro. He has not fought since August 10th of last year. It's almost been a year. His biggest win of his career, Robeisy Ramirez has fought 3 times. This guy's not fought at all.
I wonder if he's in the backyard of G-Funk.
Why doesn't boxing reward the guy that wins, Dave? He's the one that won the fight.
It happens. It happens. I mean, we can always go back and look at certain fighters that have won and they weren't supposed to do the upset. They were supposed to be there for a patent on the record.
Yeah.
Whatever happened with this kid is one or two things. Either his management is just not good, or he's managing himself, which I hardly believe, because there's always one manager that holds a Rolodex full of kids, 10 to 15, 20 of them, because that's what they're used for. They're used to go and patent these guys that are going to be superstars, help them out, move along, and so there's a strong possibility, and I'm just saying hypothetically, a strong possibility was that he did something he wasn't supposed to do. So he's no longer any good because now nobody wants to mess with this kid because there's that possibility. He doesn't have the right management to force him back into the face of boxing. There's still more investment in this kid rather than Gonzalez because he's an Olympian. The other guy it's almost like one of those can he do it again? Do we really want to invest in him? I don't know. Or maybe the kid just decided that was the best win and I'm going to ride into the sunset. That's it.
Is it possible that maybe he outpriced himself? Maybe they did offer him a rematch. You wanted more money?
That's a strong possibility. It's a strong possibility that he saw something. His team saw something. I mean, they definitely saw something. And that gave them the boost that they were, probably longing to get. But again, the powers of be is who's on your side. In boxing, it's who you know. It's not what you could do. It's who you know. And if he doesn't have the nose, then guess what? He's not going to get those other fights. He's not going to get anything, especially if he's looked at as a mule, which means that they're just there to patent the A side, their record. That's it. That's a cold reality in boxing.
Look, he's 5-2-2. You know who else had a lot of losses early in his career? Orlando Solido, right? But then, like, as he kept fighting and he became a better fighter and he became a world champion eventually. Maybe Adan Gonzales has that ability. I mean, he did beat Robeisy Ramirez, a 2-time gold medalist. There's obviously something there. Chief Funky, well, what do you make of this, bro? He hasn't fought since he beat Robeisy Ramirez. Robeisy Ramirez has fought 3 times. This dude, no time, no reward. It appears anyway. I don't know the story, of course. But it appears like no reward for beating the gold medalist. If anything, more than likely, he got punished.
Yeah, that's terrible. And this is not the first time we've seen something like this happen. But I know one thing, man. If I'm him, I'm talking some shit until I get that rematch. And you're damn right, I'm gonna price myself out because I'm gonna keep talking. Like, you guys want to boost this dude up? He's a 2-time gold medalist. Well, guess what? I beat him. So let me get another chance at this dude, so I can beat him again, and I want to get paid for it. So I don't blame him if that's the issue. I don't know, but I don't blame him. I'll be doing the same exact thing, and every time I fight, I'll be saying it. Every time I'm calling this dude out. I want. Hey, you want the rematch? I beat you. Come back and get me. But it is a little odd that the dude's not getting any fights, man. I can't believe that. That's crazy. So I mean, it's a cold business. We know that, and it looks like it's starting to show its ugly face again with this guy, man.
Now, it's totally possible that he just pulled like a Frankie Gomez or something. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of possibilities. Like, so we don't, and that's what I couldn't find, dude. I spent like 30 minutes before the show, just trying to figure out where this kid's at, and I just see a bunch of articles right after his win. So. Man,
I could find out who manages him. I'll make a couple of calls tomorrow to find out who manages him.
Let's find out. Yeah, we gotta talk to him to find out what's going on, because I wanted, like, dude, I would rather have been him last night against Robeisy Ramirez. You know what I mean? Like, that's what I would rather have had. I think that's a fight they could have done. So we saw,
Well, it all depends on the contracts. Like I said, there's management teams. There's a management that can get a whole stable of kids, and they're under contract with that manager. So could it be that Top Rank didn't want to buy him out of his contract, or they had to make a deal? It could have been that the management came back and said, "Hey, if you want him to fight again on under a Top Rank card, we want this X amount, or you gotta have to showcase these guys as well." There's so many ways that something can just be blown out where that guy ends up losing his spot, in that limelight, which is what sucks for this kid, because he did have a great win and he should have been able to capitalize on that. But boxing is so weird. It's not a very conventional business, of doing business sometimes, because it's like I said, it's who you know. It's not who it's not what you've done. It's who you know.
Exactly. I just have a feeling. I can't prove this, but if he would have lost that fight, I just have a feeling he would have had some other fights. But who knows? You know what I mean? Man, we're going to go ahead and move on to this. Some news broke. And this is, I got this from the Washington Post here. Oleksandr Gvozdyk. Right? Did that sound good? Was that all right?
That sounds pretty good.
Okay. He apparently, through his manager, announced his retirement. A lot of people are saying that Better Biev fight took a toll on him. Right? So that's good promotion for Better Biev. I'll say that. And so I saw some other people say maybe his mind hasn't been the same in boxing since the Adan Stevenson fight, because we all know the unfortunate, consequences of what happened in that fight. Stevenson, he was fighting for his life in the hospital, and his career is pretty much over now. So I don't know. We can't get in his mind. I don't know if people are just assuming this, but Dave, what do you make of this, man? This announcement, and do you buy it? Do you think he's really done?
I don't know. It's so hard to say with fighters nowadays. Going back with management, is management might have said, "Hey, because there's no demand right now for you, let's take a step back. Let's create some news out there. Let's create a buzz. Let's say we're going to retire, and then let's see the reaction of fans. Let's see the reaction of the people to see, that if they maybe get a reaction and the right reaction, that he can get a fight and he can get a fight of value that he's looking for. It could also be that, maybe he's just mentally he's not there anymore. I don't know. It could be a lot of different things, I'm not in the guy's head, but I hope he doesn't retire. Hope he try to make a comeback. I don't know.
Well, he did take a hell of a, beating in that Better Be a fight.
He did.
So I don't, sometimes doesn't always happen, but sometimes guys take a beating and they say, I'm good. G Funky is
right.
Where do you lean, G Funky? Do you believe him? Not believe him?
I believe him. I think that, like you said, the Stevenson situation, and he did take a pretty sound beating from Beterbiev. I think he definitely is done. Which we know this is what they call the hurt business, man. So things. Sometimes it's better to get out early before it's too late. And sometimes guys stay too long, and we see, the long-term effects of the sport when they overstay their welcome. So if the guy feels like, mentally I'm not in it, I'm getting beat up pretty badly by these dudes. It's the best thing for his life, So I honestly do think that he's done, man. I'd be surprised as to hear if this is something that they're just trying to, I don't know, boost his career or something. I'd be real surprised at that, but I think he is done, man. And I think it's a good decision, man. Anybody that wants to exit the sport early while they still have all their brain, in good condition, then, hey, my hat's off to you, man.
Give me one fighter right now that's actually walked away and stayed away.
Kalazagi.
Yeah.
Yeah. But Kalazagi, though, I mean, he walked away from a sport that, didn't take that damage. I mean, a lot of these guys don't want to leave off that note. That's why I don't believe it. I don't think I'm never surprised when a fighter goes,
but
I'm going to retire.
Even Hamed came back for one more fight, right? When he fought Barrera. So
did he?
I believe he did, yeah. So
he did. Yeah.
Yeah. So, what about Felix Trinidad?
Well, he came back.
He came back. Times. I mean,
yeah.
He came back.
That's right. I forgot about that Roy Jones fight. I forgot about it. I forgot about that fight. You're right. But
don't forget that the guys that were commentating, Andre Ward and Timothy Bradley, both walked away and haven't came back since.
Oh, Andre Ward. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, Andre Ward. But he's been flirting with it. He was flirting with it for a while, you know. But he just I don't think it was the right money. I think the money was the issue,
Look, can he come back? Probably. But do I believe it? Yeah. I'm leaning towards yes because, he look that was when I saw that Better Be a fight, man. He took a beating, bro. Like the will was beat out of him, pretty much. And like you have to think a piece of him was kind of gone there, and Teddy Atlas even tried to give one of his inspirational speeches, which didn't work. But there was just something not there with him, and it was beat out of him.
Right. Yeah, that spirit of him was beaten out of him, And I think
what was that?
I was just saying, I said, I think that sometimes when that happens is that a fighter, especially with his style, they have to take that step back. Does he hold on to that retirement? Maybe right now he's like, maybe that's where they're at mentally, but there is a strong possibility he may say, you know what, I'm healthy. I feel healthy. I think I got my bearings back. I think I got my spirit back. Let me take another knack at it. But he may not ever. But to me, I always look at it. How much do they have in the bank? Because that's going to tell you whether or not they're going to come back.
Yeah, shout out to 92 Aku in the chat, and also E. Woodson. Thank you very much for your membership, guys. I appreciate the support. right? And I'm leaning towards yes, man. I believe it because not only did that happen to him. I mean, the Adan Stevenson situation. There's no way for me to know. I'm not in his head, but that might have kind of messed with him a little bit. That killer instinct that you need in the ring. So he just may have some doubts. He's experienced like the worst on both sides almost. Where a beating that he suffered and putting somebody in the hospital. So that's how I see that. Seen and unseen. So do these top boxing. Listen to the panel as well, and I appreciate your support as well for being a member as well. All right, Chief Funky. Any final thoughts on Gvozdyk?
No, I just if this is it, I wish him the best. And take care of himself. And I mean, the thing is, like with 97 Rough just said, is like, if he has money saved up, hopefully, he can, chill for a little bit, spend some time with his family. We know that the sport is very demanding. You got to spend months and months away from your family. So hopefully you can do that. Or, there's always opportunities, you could train guys and things like that. So, I just, wish him the best in the future, man.
Absolutely. And shout out to you. What's it says he's out. Peace out. 92 Akua did a video on that fight, bro. Or talked about it. I talked about it, Leave It in the Ring earlier with Dave. You could check it out there as well on the Leave It in the Ring channel. So, okay. We already talked about Fury versus Wilder. We'll try to get to it in the end, but just saying. Lion Ryan. But before we get to it, this is the June 10th edition.
Did you say Lion Ryan?
Yeah, that's right. June 10th edition of Hispanic Causin Panic. Press my like button. Make sure it turns blue. Hispanic Causin Panic, 10 p.m. Eastern time every Wednesday, and at 7 over there in California, okay? Just so everybody knows.
That's the only time that matters.
Chief Funky, what's up with your boy Lion Ryan, bro? Well, what's going on with it? Why is he beefing with the DAZN? Why is he airing out his dirty laundry? Why is he talking about only $200,000? And and then you have Tank Davis now making fun of him because he said it's only $200,000. Like this whole shit's ridiculous. All right, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, it seems definitely like a sense of entitlement from this kid. He's very popular on social media, but that doesn't translate over to, live boxing events. So he's just, he's just got to be patient, man. And this is, I don't know, but it's a different day and age we're living in. So I don't think this is the way to go about trying to negotiate more money or get more money from whether it be DAZN or your promoter, whoever it is. But just be professional, man. All right. Go talk to the right people you need to talk to. Don't vent things out on Twitter, because then you got other guys making fun of you, like Tank Davis, who you guys have been jawing back and forth this whole quarantine. Boxing is back now, so you guys better get to work, But as far as him complaining about it, just do the right thing, man. Go talk, go deal with your people, your manager, whoever it may be. Your agent, whatever. Go speak to whoever you need to speak to. If you feel like you deserve more money, bring your evidence to the table as to why you need it. But if you're just going to use your social media fame, I don't think that's going to get you very far, man. Just keep doing what you're doing. I mean, you're getting popular from some of the hardcores. You're coming in there, you're getting these 1-round knockouts. So it's time for you to step up too, and then the paydays will come, man.
Well, look, these are the amazing tweets that he does. Just a couple of minutes ago, I miss going to the movies when there's nothing to do. And they get 2.3K retweets and 9,000 likes. I'll give him that. But Dave, what's going on with your boy, bro?
Look, talking about money, it worked the first time. Why would he not do it the second time? If he gets it the second time from DAZN, why would he not do it the third time? He obviously knows how to work the room. That's something that he figured out as a Instagram famous person, right? Or YouTube, whatever he's doing. Like I said on today's show, in the morning show, I said, look, boxing set itself up. The DAZN set themselves up. Before Ryan Garcia aired up his dirty laundry, the DAZN was flashing their money. They were like, hey, we have a $1 billion budget. And they came out aggressive. Then they went on and put on YouTubers on their network, on their OTT. So that left Ryan Garcia to go, if you're willing to pay these guys a lot of money because of the followers that they have, then why shouldn't you pay me all that money? Do I blame the kid for making that statement and stance and trying to get paid that way? Absolutely not. I think it's a smart move. But is it a move that us fight fans want to see and care about? Absolutely not. I could care less about it. Like I said earlier, hey, the one thing that Oscar might have been criticized is that he brought a graphic of women to the sport. But guess what? He fought real fights. Ryan Garcia has yet to do that. Ryan Garcia, again, I'm not on that train yet. I think that there's some goods there, the hand speed, the power. But other than that, you're not really fighting anybody worth of note. And when you did, like Jason Velez, you immediately they stopped that. You should have went a step further. Instead, they went a step back. So you're calling out names and you're jerking us off, but you're not finishing this off. And the way you would finish this off is fight these guys already. Get in the ring and start fighting. That's it.
Check this out. Ryan Garcia claims he's no longer fighting on July 4th, as he was only offered $200,000. That's bullshit. All right. But I wanted to show this. Tank Davis, $200,000. He need that money back from him buying that Ferrari. Stop trying to keep up, broke boy. Keep up, broke boy. Right. So now it's like this personal thing between them about who makes more money. All right. But Ryan Garcia said, yeah, I get endorsement deals outside of boxing, something you don't, because you hit women. Oh, bro, these two guys, man, keep going at it. Like, he's talking shit. Look, I'm very happy I'm fighting Abner Maris. And I think he deleted the tweet where he was talking about how he gets like more clicks than most boxers and stuff like that, like on social media. So why is he only making $200,000? Since when is that like a gauge?
I mean, how do you gauge that to value to money? How would you gauge that?
Last I checked, the retweet's free.
Yeah.
Nobody pays for your retweet.
I mean, he's not going to get Abner Maris. I mean, I had Abner Maris on, and even when Abner Maris was telling me the story of what happened with him and Golden Boy, I told Abner Maris, you're not going to get that fight. There's a bitterness between the two groups. Abner Maris and Golden Boy. They hold resentment towards Abner Maris, and why would they give it to him? I think that's pretty shitty of them if that's what it comes down to. But here's another thing: is Ryan Garcia has. I mean, I've had other fighters tell me he's turned down to fight them. I'm trying to think of the other kid that I had on leaving the ring that told me that he turned down the fight. So he's entitled. He thinks things should just go to him. And you know what? I mean, I'm turned off by the guy. All the little tweets and the beefing and stuff, guys. I mean, it's like a schoolyard fight. Once I start hearing two guys mouthing off, I'm actually the one to go, can you guys fucking fight already? Or can I just go home? Is this going to happen? I'm one of those dudes that will be, the instigator. Make this shit happen, or I gotta go.
Back in the day, like the ones that they don't want to, like, they would go like this in the hallway. What? And they wouldn't fight. You know what I mean? Now it's not even that, bro. Now it's like they just tweet at each other, just look mad dog at each other like this.
It's a new day and age, man. I mean, we're old school, man. We want to see fights. We don't want to see bitching and moaning. I seen Dave was tweeting out. I remember these fights, man. I rushed home and it's 20 minutes of talking. I was saying the same exact thing here. I don't like all this hype, man. Like, let's just get the show going. Like it's crazy, man. But this is just the new world we're living in, man.
I just want to know, why is he always lying, bro? Right? He's over here talking about the zones wants to pay guys all this money for fighting nobodies. Who the fuck are you fought? To be talking like that. I know. Okay, he beat Duno. Okay, okay. You know what I mean? Like, who else has he beat? It's not like you beat one guy and then you like all of a sudden you're the guy that fights everybody. It's not like you beat a champion, bro. Right? It's about time you stop being the Twitter champion. Fight an artist, dude.
Yeah.
Just fight the dude. Come on. Well, what do you, Chief Funky? What's up with your boy, bro? Defend him.
I can't, man. I can't with this type of stuff, man. I don't like it. But
bro, he's part of Team Canelo, bro.
Yeah, no, I should have go put my Canelo Power Canelo Power shirt on. But yeah, this is just the way that these kids do things nowadays, man. Everything's digital. If they're not on Twitter talking back and forth, then they're playing video games talking back and forth. So
if Golden Boy doesn't get a hold of this kid and make things right, or even like DAZN. So if Papa Golden Boy doesn't step up and put this kid over their lap and spank his ass and get him in line, you're going to see more of this from other fighters in that stable. Canelo did it, which rightfully he should, because he's the cash cow. He has more right than anybody. This kid did it, got his way. Golden Boy needs to do something about this guy, and if they don't do it, then DAZN needs to openly embarrass them by saying, you know what, we're not gonna host your fights anymore. We'll release you from whatever contract that we have set up with Golden Boy, because the fact of the matter is their contract is set with Golden Boy, DAZN, if I remember correctly. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong about that. Their thing is solely set up with Golden Boy, and they have a separate contract with Canelo. I don't remember anybody else saying that they were obligated to this so-and-so fighter and out of the Golden Boy stable. So somebody's got to do some type of fathering here, because obviously his team is giving them all the wrong information, telling them that it's great. Listen, I love it. Hey, dude, you got tons of fans, and that's beautiful that you can attract new fans. Okay, if that's what you're going to do, if you can if you could translate that Instagram title bout into real numbers of fans tuning in, that's phenomenal. If you can do that. But for you to sit there, and here's another thing that got underneath my skin. For you to sit there and accuse of other fighters on DAZN fighting nobodies for a lot of money, bro, you're doing the same shit. What are you talking about? You are solely talking about yourself. And when you hear a guy speak out loud like that, it's normally because they wake up and see that guy every morning in the mirror. Don't get me wrong. I like a good shit-talking fighter. I'm a Hector Camacho senior type of guy. I like Adrian Broner. I like guys like this because they get your juices all going. But then when there's nothing's dished out. I mean, at least give Adrian. People bitch about Adrian Broner, but dude, at least the guy fucking fights.
Yeah.
He's willing to get in there, win or lose.
Yeah, he is.
These guys don't even want to do that. I hear more fluff from these guys, more air. I hear more fucking air come out of my tires, driving over glass than these guys, man. It's crazy.
Let me tell you something, bro. Okay, when you're the Twitter champ and the Instagram champ, and he's going for the undisputed, bro, he just needs a Facebook one. And what's the other one? Snapchat or something? He needs all four, right? You need four to be undisputed in social media. But he's going for it, Shout out to Boxing Dialogue, says Ryan is the truth. Well, the truth about what is what I want to know. Black and Brown on here.
Truth, Twitter fingers.
Black and Brown says, hey, bro, you're in the middle of Sacramento. I don't know what you're asking, but he says new to the channel. What's going on? Welcome. All right.
Welcome.
No Paul Boxiano says to Twitter belt. LOL.
Twitter
All right.
I know.
Yeah, that's
It's
crazy.
going to come down to that, bro. It's going to come down to YouTube bout, Twitter bout, Instagram bout, Facebook bout, shit, Periscope bout. I mean, that's what it's going to end up. TikTok bout.
TikTok belt. There you go. Thank you.
TikTok bout.
Oh, yeah.
That's what it's going to come down to.
By the way, where the hell is AJ10? That dude's been gone for a while. Okay. But shout out to him wherever he's at. Right. Check it out, man. We're going to go ahead and talk about this in regards to Ryan Garcia. Who has a better future? Ryan Garcia or Vergil Ortiz? Two prospects from under Golden Boy. What do you think? What do you think, Dave?
Ortiz. I mean, he's the guy that's been showing a lot of promise. And everybody that he steps up to that they're giving him, he shows the goods, you know, and he's the kind of fighter that I like. He kind of stays off social media and he's just waiting for his turn, his chance. Where another guy's being fed a platter and he's turning away the waitress every single time. He's that annoying friend that you take to a fucking restaurant and he goes, "Oh, this is too cold. You know, they're taking too long. Oh man, this and that." There's always a complaint. That's what Ryan Garcia has become for me. And AB didn't show up to the fight, bro. You're right, 92. Cool. But he didn't show up. But I didn't say that. I said that at least he takes the fights. There's a difference. Ryan Garcia is not taking fights.
Chief Funky, who has a better future in your opinion?
That's tough. That's a tough one, man, because we know that boxing is not like other sports where if you're good, you know, you automatically get recognized as somebody, as a superstar, you know, or an all-star in some other sports. With boxing, it's, you know, popularity plays a big role in your future and what you can be. So I think who possibly has a brighter future as of right now, I'm probably going to say Ryan, just because of what he's doing as far as, like I said, social media, and he's demanding money. He's with Golden Boy. We know that Oscar, you know, he's promoted. He's done a great job with Canelo. We'll see if he can do the same with Ryan. Although I do like Vergil Ortiz better as a fighter. I think he's at this point he's just shown he's a better fighter. He's just better to me right now. But unfortunately, those type of things don't, you know, they don't help out guys in boxing. You know, we see it all the time where guys that get hyped up to the moon, you know, once they finally get in there with somebody, we find out what happens. Sometimes the guys live up to the hype, but most of the time they don't. But it just sucks that it's that way, and that's one of the many problems we have in boxing. So
did you say that? Did you say Ryan is a better boxer than Ortiz? Did I hear that right? Oh, okay.
No.
I don't know why I thought I heard something like that, but
no, I think Ortiz is much better.
Yeah, you know what? The whole Ryan thing about him having the Twitter fame and the Twitter Instagram fame, I mean, that only lasts for so long, though, in my opinion. I mean, if you're not fighting the fights and you're not, I mean, that's what it ends up boiling down to, is who you fight, because that's who's going to show up. Fight fans, like real hardcore fight fans that make up this sport, that go and dish out their hard-earned money, they're going to show up. And I think that's where Ortiz is on that right path, where Ryan Garcia, to me, is basically writing himself off the script of history by continually crying about every single thing. This guy's whining about money before he's fought anybody. That is a huge turnoff. Maybe not to his little, you know, giggling fans and stuff, but I mean, where do we draw the line as a fight fan? Where do we draw this line? You know, to me, that's the line right there. It's like, okay, bro, I've listened to you long enough. Can you fight somebody now? That's where I'm at with him. Like, you know, nobody's arguing that he is the goods and potentially could be the goods. But are we ever going to see it? I mean, is he ever going to get off Twitter?
Right.
I don't know. How can you not follow him? Look at this tweet. I'm just trying to go to Hawaii and chill.
Yeah.
I mean, bro, money, bro. Okay, and look at this grown ass man. Look. David Wright said, "Come on, Wigan mate, come to Wigan mate, and live the dream."
Live the dream.
Hey, when are we gonna hang out, Ryan? I do call Jose.
Oh shit!
And so,
You
but
sure
but
that wasn't G Funk? Because I know G
but
Funk
by
has
the
a bunch of
way,
different Twitter handles.
dude, he don't even have 1 million followers, bro. He's got 405,000 followers.
Oh, and then forget it. He's never going to become a legend in boxing.
What is he? I guess he has more on Instagram or something. I don't know, but I mean, I don't understand what makes him think he's like this. Like, don't get me wrong, that's still a lot of followers, but
Jesus, and that we're talking about this shit for like the past 20 minutes. Just tells you how annoying this kid is when it comes to this. Like, just fight, bro. Just fight already. I just want to see you fight. All the other mess about you driving Ferraris, and it's not just with Ryan Garcia. It's like Tank Davis and this generation of flashing your money, throwing it around. Like, hey man, I'm glad that you're making that. But can you fight?
Yeah.
And Tank Davis, bro, you don't got a whole lot of room to talk. You can't even make weight. Yeah. Come on. Make weight. Can't even make weight. And you're not even fighting anybody. First you said that Floyd Mayweather was holding you back, trying to set you up. Now he's holding you back. It's like, make up your mind,
Make up your mind, yeah. Unbelievable. Well, with that said, I to me, Vergil Ortiz has a better future, man. I think his mind's in the right place. Phenomenal boxer. Has beaten
his mind. His mind is on the sport. Yeah, not just on the money. I mean, I think he's going to get his money, but his mind is in the right place, which is on the sport. These other guys need to get their head there. That's what they need. That's what they need to do. Yeah,
like Vergil Ortiz that I know of never started a beef on YouTube and none of that. Okay, he just put somebody in the ring, put somebody in front of him, and he destroys them. That's it.
And he's respectful if he does. I know that him and Crawford kind of almost got into it, but he was respectful to Crawford. He was like, hey, man, I remember you giving me the opportunity to spar with you. I think it was Crawford. Somebody correct me. But I know it was either Crawford Crawford. I'm pretty sure it was Crawford. And it was still very respectful, between two warriors. When I see Ryan Garcia and Tank Davis and all these other guys, it's almost like you forget that these are fighters, boxers. They kind of turn into two little trolls trying to argue with everybody, and it's not a good look.
Have you ever thought we would reach an era where a guy doesn't want to get lowballed because he wants to make more than somebody's beefing with on social media?
It's ridiculous.
You know how stupid that is?
It's ridiculous. I mean, he's hurting himself too by not taking the fight on July 4th.
92 Luka just made a good point. 92 Luka just made a good point. 97, these fighters only fight 2 times a year. This is fun to see. I agree with you.
Yeah.
Let's roll it back.
What was
put up his tweets?
Garcia could fight literally another 2 times this year if he wanted to, because his last 2 fights only 1 round. Yeah. So I mean, this dude's fresh. It's not like he's been in wars or anything like that. He's fresh. He's young. Man, get in there and work, man. Get to damn work. You got to keep. Hopefully he fights, man. I hope he does fight July 4th, and then he can have at least another fight before the end of the year. And then that's 2 more paydays, man. Like, what are you crying about, man? Get your ass in there and fight. Like, I'm tired of this, man.
You want me to be honest? If somebody knocks this kid out, like if Ryan Garcia gets knocked out, bro, I don't know if he recovers. And I'm not even talking about. I'm not talking about the punch itself or the knockout. I'm talking about feeling embarrassed, on social media, because every time you post something, they're gonna post him knocked out on the ground, like in the mat. They're gonna be trolling him over and over, like, oh, bro, look how Tank knocked you out, bro. Whoever it is, right?
Social media will break.
Like this, bro.
Social media will break.
We got the receipts.
Well, there you go. These are my receipts. You got these notes. You guys are tuned in to the June 10th edition of Hispanics Causin Panic. You could check out the replay on the Leave It in the Ring network. All right, check it out, man. Before we move on, do you guys have anything else you want to say about Ryan Garcia? 'Cause I know.
Yeah,
It's just,
I got one more thing to say about Ryan Garcia,
Sure.
and then I'll get off of him. But just to piggyback what G-Funk was saying about him fighting in only one round, he's fresh. He's got a better case than Caleb Plant. You know what I mean? He could actually, Caleb Plant has a better case than Ryan Garcia. About saying that he's got to go to a full camp again. He can't fight Canelo at this moment, etc. That's a stronger case. Ryan Garcia has nowhere to move right now. He shouldn't even be complaining, talking about, I want to fight. I want to fight. You're literally saying that every day. All I'm thinking about is fighting. But then, oh man, you don't want to pay me. The $200K, that's all you want to give me? Like, dude, come on.
Do you think Ryan Garcia's got like muscles right here, bro? Like biceps and triceps on his thumbs, bro, from all that tweeting?
I don't know. He's got something. He's got Viagra on his fingers.
That's where he gets the power from, bro. From like all the tweeting.
This guy's lucky he was born in this era, because if this was about 30 years ago, he could have been a stenographer. All the damn typing he does,
Oh my god. I wonder if he's got calluses on his thumbs.
Well, you never heard back then. I got more. There's more newspaper articles about me than you. Like, I don't think that was a thing back then. You know what I mean? So,
can you imagine that? That would have been great.
I was on the ring cover 3 times last year. Yeah. Maybe it was a thing. I don't know, but I doubt it.
Wow.
All right, he is getting good, says A-Rod, at training, and on his last fight went back to his same style. If he tries that against someone good, he gets caught, says A-Rod. You know what? Ryan does have that shit in the air problem.
Oh, he does.
I need it tested bad. Okay.
I call it the bird watching chin, because he's always like that.
Well, there you go. All right. With the last thing about Garcia, says Chicano Prophet. Anyone seen his girlfriend, Drea Selena? She's a knockout.
I've never seen her.
Never seen her, but I would like to see him knock somebody out. All right. So that's that. I don't care about the gangster banging, bro. I care about the banging in the ring with the gloves. You know what I mean?
Don't mention her, Chicano Prophet, if you're not going to show her.
Right.
Don't be like that, Vato.
Yeah, but man, with that said, they'll break up eventually, and he's going to tweet about it. We'll know the whole story too.
Yeah.
There's no holding back with him, because somebody mentioned it earlier. Like, his baby mama drama, it's all over Twitter. Like, he lets everybody know what the hell's going on, bro. Right? And he's also one of those dudes, like one of my primos and shit. He'll put something on Facebook, and it'll be like he'll say something like cryptic, like it sounds like he's gonna commit suicide or something. Like, hey,
shit.
primo, like, you're right. Like, hey, can everybody leave me alone? It's nobody's business. You posted it on Facebook, bro. You made it everybody's business.
Everybody's in my business.
Yeah,
But Ryan did that once.
He did.
Yeah, it's like, bro, I'm on season 5, episode 20 of your bullshit. All right, stop it.
Post about a show I like. Oh, you're a terrible person, motherfucker. How dare you spoil the show for me? Like, motherfucker, that's a year old, dude. That was from Game of Thrones from like 2-3 years ago.
I've never watched the Game of Thrones, so don't spoil it for me.
Yeah.
Well, she is a knockout.
Well, that's cool. You know what I mean? But if he wants to retire and go become a Twitter star or a YouTube star, he could go for it. You know what I mean? I want to see him in the ring. I want to see him test it. Okay. I'm sure Linares has a hot girl.
Órale.
So what? It's just, let's fight. With that said.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
With that said.
That's what it comes down to. I mean, not being a hater. I'm just, because I know I'm pretty sure we're going to be called haters now, Ryan Garcia.
Oh, you're a hater.
Nothing good about Ryan Garcia.
You're just
mad. Nothing good about Bob Arum.
Yeah, man. Let me tell you guys it's fitting, good segue. As you guys tune into this June 10th edition of Hispanic Causin Panic, press the like button. Make sure it turns blue. We're talking about Ryan Garcia, and we hope he fights this guy, and we hope he fights that guy, and we hope that, Shakur Stevenson fights for shout, and we hope this, and we hope that. Let's talk about fights that we wish we would have seen. Now we don't want to go back to the 20s and I wish this fight happened. Like, we don't got to go all the way back. Right?
Yeah, don't make G-Funk think that far back. He gets hurt.
But we want to talk about fights that you yourselves lived through that should have happened, that didn't happen. That you thought at one point could happen. You wish they happened. Dave, start us out with a fight, man. What's a fight you wish would have happened?
Oh God, now you put me on the spot. I see how it is. Evan Bellario versus Manny Pacquiao. Right off the top of my head. Yep. Palo. That's a fight I would have loved to have seen. I think that there was something there because anytime you brought it up to Freddie Roach, Freddie would lose his hat. It just pissed him off. And he would literally, I remember like sitting across from him and asking him, like, so what do you think about Edwin Bellario? And he goes, man, who cares about this guy? And I was like, holy shit. Like, I didn't even get my full sentence out, so that he can answer me. But I think that fight there would have been phenomenal, man. I mean, it was in talks after he had beaten DeMarco, because after beating Antonio DeMarco, Bellario was set up. I remember Timothy Bradley came on immediately and said, hey, they're talking about fighting me. I want that fight. Make that fight happen. But then that got scratched because they were now bringing up Manny Pacquiao team. And then we're saying, okay, I think it's time for us to finally get in there with the Inca Warrior. So, but it never happened, and we all know why. Sad story.
That fight, man, it was fire. I mean, everybody wants to see that fight. And I remember that. It's a fight, Dave, a lot of people don't talk about it anymore, just because of the tragedy that happened.
Right.
And we all know what he did. Unfortunately, he murdered his wife, and then he hung himself. So, supposedly, I don't know how you hang yourself in jail, but apparently he did. But okay. G-Funky, what's a fight you wish would have happened?
Man, there's a lot of them, but the one that comes to mind right away is one that we talked about last week, which is your boy El Telibre versus Dinamita. Back at 120, back at 126.
We already know Morales would have won, bro. It's like, why even see it? You know what I mean? It's a given.
I would have loved to see it back then. Like I said,
imagine them being on Twitter beefing. Cállate, cabrón.
Well,
they're kind of beefing now, but
yeah, a little bit now.
But like, none of them have figured out that they could like publicly just tweet each other, so that they're still going to the media. Like, you know what I mean?
Because you imagine them, you know how they would be tweeting, right? They'd be like this. Hija de tu. Oh.
Yeah, they're maestros in the ring, not on the smartphone. So, but G-Funky, Morales winning the side. Well, why didn't you want to see that fight?
Well, because I always felt like Marquez was the outsider at that time, because we know that Morales and Barrera were the guys who were kind of out in front as the fighters from Mexico at that time. And Marquez was, he deserved to be right there with those dudes. He was just as good as them, if not better. So that's one of those things I wish would have happened, but it just unfortunately never did. I mean, he got his hands on Barrera, but again, that was after Pacquiao already beat him a couple times. So, people already had that built-in excuse that he was done, and whatever. But I wish that he would have got a chance at either one of those guys back at 126 or 122. Those would have been some great fights, I think, man. But unfortunately, never happened.
I like how 92 Oku put Pacquiao versus Mayweather in 2010.
Right.
Look, to me, a fight that I always wanted to see, and there was several windows of opportunity where this fight could have happened, and that was Vernon Forrest against Oscar De La Hoya.
Yeah.
That would have been a great
Both
fight.
guys with phenomenal jabs, by the way. I wanted to see it. So
yeah,
it would have been a chess match. I don't know if it would have been like a barn burner or something like that. I don't think it would have. It would have been a chess match, and I actually think Oscar De La Hoya would have won that fight.
Really?
I do.
Really? I don't know. I would actually. I remember I remember wanting to see that fight, and there was like talks about it. I remember thinking, I just thought Vernon was just maybe too big, and that jab of his was just so hard to get past. I thought that the jab would give Oscar a lot of problems. And I thought Vernon, man, I mean, yeah, and I think too, I think Oscar could have probably stole some rounds, but Forrest was not a guy that let you take things away from him. He would have fought too, but you're right. It would have been a chess match, and it would have been up to Oscar to start making it a checker match. So I don't know, man, but I don't know. We're never going to see it.
Yeah, Vernon's a guy that didn't get his chance at a lot of guys,
Right.
I would have liked to see him against not only De La Hoya, but against my favorite fighter back then, Trinidad. I would have loved to see him against I Corte back then. Man, it would have been good fights.
Well, there was that opportunity where there was, of course, when they were all kind of there at 147, but then at 154, after, Oscar had come back and he beat Mayorga, right, which is the guy that had a win over Forrest, right? And then Forrest, as you guys remember, was kind of campaigning there. And I don't know if you guys remember, he called out De La Hoya like ugly. Like he was telling them I think they asked him about De La Hoya's pictures. Okay, the fishnets and all that. He said, I don't give a shit if he puts on lipstick or what he does in his personal life. I just want him in the ring. Okay, right. So he really aggressively went for that fight, and De La Hoya decided, I'm gonna go fight Manny Pacquiao for the dream match.
And he was stylistically a nightmare for anybody. I mean, to be honest, he was stylistically a nightmare. And Oscar, they knew that. I mean, Oscar was kind of almost at the tail end of his career. That's why he went after Pacquiao, But no, I mean, look, rest in peace, Vernon Forrest. I was not a huge Vernon Forrest fan. I don't want to say that like I was a guy like that clamored to see him fight, because there was times where he was boring, because he was that good with that jab. He was very content using that jab and that straight right hand. He didn't make too many mistakes. So, I think after he beat up Shane Mosley and how ugly that fight was, I think also that might have turned off a lot of folks. And Mayorga fought Vernon Forrest at the right time, in my opinion. He went out there and he got in his head by getting right in the mix with them, and he forced Vernon Forrest to fight his fight. I'm not sure if Oscar could have done that, because Oscar, in a lot of ways, was always trying to find the perfect fight. You know what I mean? To impress his dad and himself.
I think a lot of the issues with Vernon in that Mayorga fight, the first one at least, was I think he was getting a lot of bad advice from his corner. I remember after the first round, when Mayorga came out there and said, the only chance I got is to make it a fight, like a street fight, He went out there and did it. To his credit, that first round. I remember, I could be wrong, man. It was a long time ago, but I really remember his corner saying, fight him. Don't box him, fight him. And that was the wrong thing to do, because he got clipped, and we know Mayorga's got heavy hands. Hey, he got clipped, never recovered. The second fight, he was a little bit afraid of the power, I think. Although I think he fought smarter, even though he lost. But the corner really messed up in the first fight for Vernon, I think.
This 92 Aku dropping knowledge. Eric Gomez said Marquez backed away from the deal from Morales at 140 because he felt Morales was dangerous. Even though I like the comment, I think it had more to do with Marquez wanting that Pacquiao fight. I think that was the main. Like, Marquez had this obsession with getting that fight.
Absolutely,
and that was his main. And you guys remember how no one was giving Marquez any a shot, and Freddie Roach was trying to pass it off as Pacquiao's moved on from those guys like Marquez. Pacquiao's at a whole other level now, and he would destroy him in 2-3 rounds now. It's just Pacquiao's a whole different animal now. That's kind of and people bought it. People just bought it, man. Including myself. I actually felt Pacquiao would win that fight. I did.
Would have been a great fight. I think I told you this, right, D? Yeah. Mike Tyson and Tommy Morrison.
Yeah.
That would have been a mayhem fight. Happened. Yeah. Big punchers. What
if he would have won, Dave? Who would have won that fight?
I think Iron would have won that fight. I think that it would have been a back and forth 2 or 3 rounds of just each other throwing punches. Because Morrison's, I mean, he had serious power. Just the thing is that who had a better chin? Iron Mike did.
What's going on, G Funky? Like, it's not like you completely disagree.
I love. Don't get it twisted, man. I love Mike Tyson. He's must see TV every time he's in there. But every time he stepped up in class, man, he didn't look like Iron Mike. I think Tommy Morrison would have gave him some trouble, man. I really do. And that left hook of his was vicious. Not just Tyson. I mean, Tyson obviously has the power, the speed, the things like that. Both guys, they're kind of the same in a way, except the chin was better for Tyson.
Did Morrison have the quijada? Could he take Tyson's punch, bro?
That's the thing. That's the thing. Yeah. If he could last, but then that's the thing with Morrison too. If he could last 5-6 rounds, he had issues himself going late in fights. So I think it would have been nice if it turned into
Mike Tyson had issues at that time, or
at the time, yeah.
Not at the time when they were scheduled to fight. He didn't.
That was after he got out of prison, or was it before he went to prison that they were supposed to?
It was
before. Okay, for some reason I'm thinking after.
Not after.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, then that's different. Then yeah.
I don't think so. I mean, we'd have to double check that, but I think it was before, because this is when Tommy lost because they weren't scheduled. Remember that he
lost Michael Bent, right?
Michael Bent, yeah.
He got knocked out in the first round. That was a fight he was supposed to win. Got knocked out, and there was the Tyson fight was gone. So I don't know if that was before or after. Got to check.
I know, we have to go check.
I don't think it matters. I think Tyson knocks him out in like 3 or 4 rounds.
The only reason I say he knocks him out in 2-3 rounds, because I think Tommy will go out there and try to bang with him. I don't think Tommy would have wanted to box him. I think Tommy would have got sucked in. The most discipline that we saw from Tommy is when he fought George Foreman. That was a great performance from him. But I think that Tommy would have wanted to lay his that big punch, on him. And I think too, at that time when they were scheduled to fight, this one was Tommy going into that party mode. He was just partying a lot. He wasn't really doing a whole lot of training. So, but I mean, I still think it would have been a phenomenal fight between those two.
Well, he definitely did a lot of partying. That's for sure.
Oh yeah, he did. Mm-hmm.
Dude, that fight, there would have been more fireworks than the 4th of July, man. Like, that would have been explosive.
that would have been a hell of a fight. And regardless of who wins, I think it ends in 3 or 4 rounds. But I think Tyson would have been the one winning. Chicano Prophet says, I really want to see Canelo versus Paul Williams, which is canceled after Williams' unfortunate accidents.
I remember that.
I think Canelo would have had too many problems with Paul Williams. I would have Paul Williams in that fight. Tell you the truth.
At that time, though,
yeah, too tall.
Canelo's young at the time too. Yeah,
he was really young. Yeah, he was really young on that. I think they were probably banking that Paul Williams was damaged goods after the Sergio Martinez fights. I don't know.
I mean, I guess, Lara's a totally different style to Canelo, but I thought Lara was robbed against Williams. But
definitely.
It's hard for me to say, but I think Canelo would have won, though. I think because you know why? Because Williams would give away his height, like all the time.
He does give up his height, but that volume, man, gave so many guys
body shots
problems. Yeah, his volume of punching gave so many. I mean, Sergio Martinez was a specimen for himself. I mean, he knew how to suck you in. He knew how to back up and then pause for a quick second, and then his herky jerky style would the rhythm. You can never catch his rhythm in his prime. Were like Antonio Margarito, these guys, they had problems with Williams because Williams' volume. If you stood there with him and he was able to cut that distance, which he did, Paul Williams, I think he would have landed a lot of leather on Canelo.
I think Canelo would have landed body shots on the long torso, bro, is what I think. I think Canelo's inside work, even when he was young, I think would be too much for Williams. But it would have been interesting, though. The one caveat I can add to what he said is this, though. Even Martinez, when he fought Williams, he had to take like 2-3 rounds off, in the middle of that fight. because it was just a lot of volume. Like he needed I need to take this round off. He surrendered like a round or two.
I mean, damn, every time I watched the guy, I remember I used to breathe hard like, fuck, this guy doesn't stop throwing punches.
Yeah.
Oh, Williams, no wonder why they call him the Punisher.
That's why. That's how he beat Wiki Wright, bro. Wiki Wright was like this whole fight.
The whole time.
He's like, I'm going to throw when you stop. He never stopped.
Yeah. What a great fighter, Paul Williams, man, the Punisher. I had the pleasure talking to him a bunch of times, having him on. I remember when he was going to fight Kelly Pavlik. That was all set up. That fell apart.
That fight.
Yeah.
You know what?
That would have been a great fight.
I think Pavlik wins that fight.
I think so too.
Yeah. Too big for Paul. Too big. At the time, especially. I got one for you guys, man.
Who you got? Who you got?
One I've always wanted to see it, and for some reason it was never.
Funk. Let's go.
Oh, I'm ready. I'm ready, bro. We talked about this often when we were younger, and for some reason, boxing promoters and people inside never talked about it. But Mike Tyson versus David Tua.
Ooh.
Who do you think wins that one?
Tua.
Tua's gonna. You think like I know the dude had a chin. I know that, but you don't think Tyson would have dented that chin?
I don't think so. I don't think so
either. He
took
a lot of clean shots from Lennox Lewis.
Like
man,
even the El Presidente, he took a lot of clean shots.
Yeah. I could be a Bucci.
Yeah. Ike. I think Ike would have busted up Mike Tyson really bad.
And that was here, by the way. So
that fight's interesting, but I think I still think Tyson beats him in a decision or something. I don't think he beats Tyson.
I don't know. G-Funk, put him on mute.
I'm the host.
I think
somebody put him on mute.
I think David Tua puts Mike Tyson on mute.
How about this one, man? How about this one? You know, the famous throwing the WBC belt in the trash. You know what I mean? Bo Lewis and the pros. Who would have won that fight in your opinion, G Funky?
If I'm betting Lennox Lewis, Lennox Lewis.
Bo versus Lennox Lewis.
If I'm betting on that fight, I'm betting Lennox Lewis.
Yes.
Although I would be rooting for Riddick Bowe because I just liked Riddick Bowe better than Lennox back then. But Lennox, I mean, I got to give it to him. The guy was a consummate professional. He's always prepared, always ready to go. Can't always say the same about Riddick Bowe. Very inconsistent. Comes in and out of shape.
Lennox was in his head. I mean, I think that was the only name that I would see Bo just like you know what I mean? Like he didn't even want to hear that. He didn't want to hear Lennox Lewis's name. You know?
Yeah, man. Hard to say. I would favor Lewis, but anything was possible, man. Lewis got caught twice against Les. So anything's possible. But yeah,
Skinny Kenny just brought up a good fight right now that I would have loved to have seen. Dmitry Pirog versus Gennady Golovkin. That would have been a badass fight.
That would have been a really good fight.
And yeah, who do you got on that one?
Ooh,
I'll go with Priov. A little too slick for Golovkin, I think.
Tall too.
Yeah. And the thing with Golovkin, man, the thing with and I used to tell people, man, he has a nice power jab, but he steps on it, then throws it. Priov would have timed that, bro. And
it's telegraphed, definitely. But when you throw,
it's too telegraphed for someone at the level of Dmitry, in my opinion. You know what I mean? So I would have favored him over Gennady Golovkin.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
Well, I mean, Pirog was a real middleweight. Whereas Gennady Golovkin was a middleweight, but he was fighting a lot of guys at 154. Right. A lot of these guys. I mean, his best fight at that time was beating Kasima Uma, and he struggled with him. It took him a minute to figure him out. Where Pirog was a big guy. Martinez and Triple G. Well, that would have been cool, but the only problem was Triple G was still. First, he hadn't even fought in the States yet. Wasn't really in Martinez's radar. It would have been a good fight. I would have loved to watched it. But I think at the late stage of Martinez's career, when they would have fought, Gennady Golovkin would have took him out.
Well, when Martinez fought, like, do you remember around the time he fought Chavez Jr.?
Yeah.
Gennady Golovkin wasn't in anybody's radar. None of these writers were talking about Gennady Golovkin, right? And the reason I'm bringing that fight up, that's the fight that Martinez fucked up his knee. Yeah. So there was never a point pre-fucked up knee where you could say Martinez ducked Gennady Golovkin.
No, there was no. I mean, I hear that argument all the time. I'm like, okay, well, what point was he ducking him? Because when he won against Julio Cesar Chavez, that's when people were bringing up Gennady Golovkin. Okay, but that's when Gennady Golovkin went home in Argentina and fought against a massive crowd and was offered a lot of money. So at what point Gennady Golovkin wasn't even, didn't even have an HBO deal yet? I mean, there was really no reason. Would we have loved to have seen it? Yes, but he wasn't nobody's radar just yet. I mean, he was a guy I was covering Gennady Golovkin. We were covering him. We had on Gennady. This is how we had Gennady Golovkin on before he had a USA deal, and absolutely nobody knew who this guy was. And he was on there calling him and Abel Sanchez were calling out Andre Ward.
Right. Yeah. That's around the time they were saying they'll fight anybody from 154 to 168 and all this other shit. It was mainly Abel Sanchez, but yes. Yeah, I remember all that. But that was after he made his HBO debut.
Mm-hmm.
And even then, like, until he fought like Rosado, he was barely fighting that level of opposition when he fought fucking Gabriel Rosado, bro. And people are talking about that Martinez was ducking him. Nah, dude. Like, I don't see that.
No,
you know what I mean,
I don't buy it either. And if he didn't mess up his knee and that fight did happen, I think there would be no Triple G. I think Martinez embarrasses him.
Even if he wasn't mandatory, like Joe Lopez right now, wasn't Triple G Sergio's mandatory? Yeah, but it could have been his mandatory. And even if it was, it doesn't really fall. You got to remember, HBO disapproved a lot of fights of Sergio Martinez. Remember that HBO had him signed to a deal, but couldn't stand Sergio Martinez.
Yeah, but he was Felix Sturm's mandatory. That's Kenny said. That's because I think he was a regular champion and Felix Sturm was a super champion, right? If I remember correctly.
Yeah, who could keep up with that crap?
Yeah. So and that's the other thing. He was just
I don't recognize any of those belts unless they're Twitter champions, Instagram champions, TikTok champions. I recognize those. The alphabet. I don't.
Let me tell you guys what that kind of sounds like. It's kind of like, imagine like in 10 years, they're going to be saying, "Oh, this guy ducked Ryan Garcia." Like, I mean, but anyway,
remember he said it on Twitter, bro.
But what are the fights you got, G Funky? A fight you would love to have seen.
Look at how many even got on there. I got the Ring magazine from 2009, 2012. Triple G wasn't even ranked at 160 until he made his USA debut. Right. There you go.
Well, there you go.
Wow.
Like, dude, in other words, it's a myth that Martinez ducked Triple G. No one was talking about Triple G, guys. If he was around, trust me, they would have been telling Chavez, they would be saying, they would accuse Chavez Jr. of ducking everybody, rightfully so. But the name didn't even come up when Chavez Jr. had the belt.
Hater. Mute him. Somebody mute him. Quick, mute him.
But with that said, okay, Chief Funky, what fight you got, bro?
Man, there's so many that I just, everybody's bringing them up, but that's definitely one that I've always wanted to see because I was just sick and tired of hearing these Triple G fans, man, talking all this nonsense about how he's ducked him and this and that. I think Martinez carves him up, bro. I really do.
Well, I mean, I think that's a close fight, actually, because I don't know how Martinez would deal with the pressure. You know what I mean?
That's it.
That's the main thing. But that's a good one.
It is a good fight. I would have loved to have seen it with a healthy Sergio Martinez. We would have saw something spectacular between those two middleweights. It would have been phenomenal, And let's remember this: Sergio Martinez was not a natural middleweight.
Mm-hmm. No, it wasn't. That's right. Like the only reason he moved up was he fought, Paul Williams, on short notice, and then he ended up fighting Pavlik. I think he was a replacement for Williams, right?
Yeah.
If I don't know if I'm mistaken about that, but he got the
Hmm.
Pavlik fight, and then he knocked out Williams after that, and then he just stayed there.
Well,
You
he
know?
drew. He had a draw with Williams. That's why they did the rematch, and then he knocked him out. Yeah, you're right.
But he beat Pavlik first, and then
Right.
he did the rematch. Yeah, he was a champion. I remember that. Okay, but with that said, what about this fight
What
in
fight?
a stadium? Somebody said it in the chat already. I think it was 92 Aku. I could be wrong, but the two Argentinians, man, Matisse, Maidana.
Ooh.
We didn't get that fight in the pro. I know. They've told me about their little story and their little explanation. Okay, if you want to explain that to everybody, Dave, but would you have loved to see that fight?
I would have loved to have seen that fight, but they didn't have no interest in fighting each other because they had fought each other in the amateurs numerous times, you know. But to say again, I would have loved to have seen that fight. I honestly think Madonna would have knocked him out. I think Chino might have been a bit too much for Lucas Matisse.
I think with Robert Garcia, I agree with you. Pre-Robert Garcia, I don't know. A little too wild for Matisse, I think.
But dude, he was ballsy. I mean, even when he got dropped by the Amir Khan, I mean, he rallied back in. Getting dropped with vicious Victor Ortiz, he rallied back in. I mean, he showed a resilience that a lot of fighters would have crumbled under. And Lucas Matisse, at that time, in my opinion, like I said, I was never on the Lucas Matisse's team because I didn't see that yet. We just saw a very destructive guy that was mowing through guys, but we never knew what would force him to either adjust or pull out of his ass. Chino Madonna had already proven that. I mean, was he the less skilled fighter between the two? Yes. I think Lucas Matisse, the Machine, was a far more better skilled fighter, but in terms of heart and would have dug deep, my money would go with Chino Madonna.
Well, there you go. Chief Funky, go ahead, say it.
I think I would go with Maidana also. I've seen too many times Matisse, when he's in there tough with somebody, kind of checks out, you know. I had all the faith in the world in him against Danny Garcia on the undercard of the Canelo Mayweather fight. I mean, I was almost for sure he was going to win. He got in there and his eye got all swollen. He just checked out, you know, and it just happened to him a lot. So I think I agree with 97 Rough. At least we've seen Maidana when he's in there tough with guys. You know, he doesn't get frustrated. He doesn't quit. You know, he keeps coming. He keeps trying. He believes in his power. I mean, he even did well against Mayweather a couple of times. And I rocked him in the second fight. So I would go with Maidana. Matisse, the La Maquina, he just, I don't know, man. He let me down too many times.
Well, I'll tell you what, man. What about this one?
Talk to me, man. Talk to me.
This was talked about, man. Victor Ortiz, Brandon Rios.
God, I would have loved to see that.
Man.
The Kansas City
you know
boy.
what? You know what I wanted? Like, dude, every time they would interview Ortiz and they would ask him about that, yeah, bro. I mean, you know, he's not at my level, bro. Like, you know, he's
trying to make money off of me, bro. He's trying to make money off of my name, bro. He used to tell me that all the time, you know. And Brandon Rios, dude. I mean, I remember asking him, okay, how do you really feel about Victor Ortiz? He's like, can I cuss on here? I'm like, go ahead. Yeah. Start calling him a, you know, faggot, all this shit. I was like, holy shit, there is some real serious hate.
Well, this video's not getting monetized now, but it's all right.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, but yeah, it was personal. You know what I mean?
It was.
And I don't know. I would have loved to have seen that fight. What about this one, though? Staying with Victor Ortiz, a dream match for me. And I know it's crazy because I'm calling it a dream match, but I would have loved to have seen Victor Ortiz against Amir Khan. Right?
That would have been a great fight.
That's like the movable object. You know what I mean? Or no. The stoppable force meets the movable object. You know? Like So, like, instead of the unstoppable force meets the immovable object, the opposite of it. Because what's going to happen first? Is Victor Ortiz going to quit first, or is he going to catch Khan in the chin? I don't know. Like, you know what I mean? I could see, dude, like, that would have, I think, I don't know why. I just foresee, like, the craziest ending to that fight. Like, where
I
Ortiz
know.
hurts Khan, and Khan looks like he's out of it, and then Khan catches him, and then he turns his back, and then they stop the fight. Like, something crazy like that.
I think Ortiz would have struggled and probably got a bit frustrated and probably would have walked in with Amir Khan. I'm going to tell you other fight that I would have loved to have seen. Floyd Mayweather Jr. versus Costa Tszyu at 140.
Ooh, yes.
Okay.
I remember. Yes. I wanted to see that one too.
Yeah. That fight there would have been phenomenal. You know, I think that Costa would have probably shown everything that we needed to know at that time with Floyd Mayweather. And this is, you know, I think the same thing. I think Floyd would have brought out the best of Costa Tszyu. Who do you guys got?
Mayweather. I think
That's
Mayweather
tough.
won.
Back then, I remember talking about that fight with a lot of my friends. I was rolling with Tszyu because I think the power, the timing
right
that he has, and the timing especially, man. I think he catches Mayweather with something big and hurts him, man. I really do. So I said it back then. I'm going to say it now. I would pick Costa Tszyu.
Oh, wow.
I don't see it. I don't see it. I don't see him catching Mayweather with the right hand. I just don't.
I see it. But I don't see him putting down Floyd. I think Floyd's chin is underrated. You know, I mean, he's been hit with some serious punchers, whether they're out of their prime or not. I mean, that's the last thing to go. So I don't know, man. I'm gonna go with you, D-Style. You know what would been another badass fight? Timothy Bradley versus Sean Porter before Timothy decided to retire.
Ooh,
Yeah.
man. I got.
Yeah, me paró.
That's interesting.
That's a good fight.
I would have to go with Porter at that point. Just bigger dude.
Same for me. Yeah.
But
I think the style. I think he'll get to him.
I wouldn't rule out Bradley though, because
I'd go with Bradley, bro. I'm a Bradley guy. I would go with Bradley. I just think Bradley's a much more intelligent fighter, because Bradley to me has kind of showed in and out movements. You know, he's showed he can box, he can brawl, and I think that Porter. I've always said that to me, Porter's a poor man version of Timothy Bradley.
Yeah. Well,
double KO via headbutt.
Yo, that might go to a technical decision for sure, right? Man, a lot of fights, man. So many fights to talk about. Someone said Thurman versus Bradley.
I wasn't a big Thurman guy.
I don't know. That's like I wish I would have seen that fight. You know what I mean? I don't know if it qualifies as that. You know, which fight do you guys fear we might not get? That active fighters right now that should fight each other if we go by best fighting the best logic, but we might never get it. I'm going to start with this one: Crawford Spence.
Oh man!
I think boxing, and I don't want to be the guy that tells everybody Santa Claus isn't real. I mean, like Santa's not real. Okay, Santa's not going to bring you the fight for Christmas.
There's always that one vato that has to bring Bud Light to a Modelo party. Right. I got it.
And I want to be wrong, but guys, there's a possibility we may never see that fight. I don't know how much longer Spence can be at 147. First of all. At some point, he's going to move up to 154. I don't know if Crawford's going to follow him up there. So the fight, there's a window of opportunity for the fight to happen right now. Do we see that fight? If you had a crystal ball, do you say, okay, do you see the fight or not, Dave? Is it going to happen?
If I had a crystal ball. I don't have a crystal ball, but I got one of those 8 balls where you shake it. Where's it at? Yeah.
And it never works. Like it's always like.
No, it's always right. But is it gonna happen? Fuck! This first time it says no. Look, I think it's gonna happen, but I don't.
Boxing? No.
Yeah, no. I think it's gonna happen, but I don't think it's gonna happen when both guys are in their prime. I think they're gonna end up, using their in-house source until the very end. For whatever reason, boxing does that to us all the time. And I will guarantee probably it's not going to happen at 147. It's going to be at 154, something like that. Yeah. 92 Akua said, it's happening, guys. Chill. He looked into his crystal ball, so I'm going to go with him.
I don't know, man. It sounds like a one of those new, like very enthusiastic boxing fans. You know, those are always cute to see. G Funky, are we going to see that fight?
Man, that's tough to answer. Like, I'm thinking more of, is Spence anymore? Like we still don't know after his accident. So I mean, I don't know, man. I'm leaning more towards with what D Style is saying. It probably won't happen, and it's mainly because of that. If I can see Spence come back and look like Spence against whoever he is going to fight, then for my odds will change of it happening. But man, I don't know, man. There's so many question marks with Spence now, and it sucks, man. But unfortunately, he got into an accident. We don't know how okay he is. We just don't know yet,
I can say I think it happens. I just don't think it's going to happen at welterweight. I'm going to go with 154. That's where I'm going to go. Yeah.
Skinny says, if Jose Ramirez progress and Josh Taylor move to 147 quickly and with some fanfare, Bob closes down the in-house fights and Crawford goes for 54, but will never fight Spence. Damn. All right.
Thank you, Skinny.
Damn. What about this one? One more. I'm going to shoot one more to you guys. Jose Ramirez against Josh Taylor for undisputed at 140 pounds.
No, I think it happens.
It's happening?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who wins?
I think Josh Taylor does. I got Josh Taylor. I think he's a far more superior boxer. Jose Ramirez is definitely getting better with Robert Garcia. But
okay.
I just think he's going to have a lot of problems with Josh. I think Josh is right now the it factor, in my opinion. I could be wrong. Like I said, Ramirez is looking better. He's fighting Postal, which what they want. Right. Where Pirox is fighting Hooker, which is a great fight as well. And then it'd probably go to Ramirez Pirox first before it goes to Josh Taylor. But I mean that could all change if Pirox can't get past Hooker, because Hooker is a tough cookie.
Well, that's true. I mean, we will see, man. I think Jose Ramirez will keep Josh Taylor on his back foot, to be honest with you.
Those are all great fights right there, to tell you the truth, man. I mean, you can have a ring robin with those guys, and it's just going to be fun-filled.
Yeah, don't forget about, Prograis and Taylor was a close fight, bro. That fight is stateside. I don't know. Maybe Prograis gets the decision. You know what I mean? It was that close of a fight.
Yeah.
So a lot of great fights. 140 is a hot division. So I'm all for that, man. Any final thoughts, Chief Funky? We'll wrap this one up.
My final thoughts are this, man. I think Ramirez wins that fight. If it happens, when it happens. I think he's just too much of a dog for Taylor. I think he'll get to him. But, it's got to happen, man. Has to, because that's undisputed at 140. So that's got to happen. But, my final thoughts, man. Boxing is back, but didn't come with a bang, unfortunately. But tomorrow we got more fights, man. They're rolling in quickly. So, I'm excited to see them. Let's just see if the cards will get any better, man. I hope that they do. But we'll have to see, man. But thanks for having me on, man. Appreciate it. Shout out to D-Style and 97 Rough, man. And everybody who came in the chat. Thank you guys for hanging in there with us. Hit the like button. And thank you guys. I appreciate it.
Man, he's making it sound like it was like
I
a
know.
bad thing, like hanging in there. Like, thank you guys.
I was waiting for him to pull out the tissue, and I want to thank
too. All right, but go ahead.
I want to thank the pool guy for coming out today, making sure I got studs.
Hey man, gotta make sure that the pH balance is right. You know,
right, exactly.
Like, thank you for hanging in there, guys. But yeah, 97 Rough, aka Dave the Winners from Leave It in the Ring. Give us some final thoughts, man, before we close this one out.
I got to agree with some of the guys in here talking about Mikey Garcia versus Lomachenko. That is one fight that I definitely wanted to see. Forgot about that. That was one, and it's never going to happen. Final thought, man, nothing really. I mean, I think we covered everything. The basis of whatever we were going to talk about, it's been definitely covered. Fury and AJ, man, that's going to be a long another 20, 30 minutes here. If you want, you guys can go to the Leave It in the Ring channel. The segment that me and D-Style did is up there, and you can hear our thoughts and whatnot about that fight and what I think about Deontay Wilder in the mix in the middle of it, and D-Style's thoughts as well, man. But other than that, I don't know what to say because Tifa took it.
With that said, guys, we'll be back next week, every Wednesday, 10 p.m. Eastern Time, 7 Pacific. All right, make sure you guys, tune in every week to Hispanics Causing Panic. This is D-Style Boxing. And what do we say, G-Funk?
Keep it boxing.
Keep it boxing. We're out.
That didn't sound